morning, and we have an amazing session lined up. And let's get started. Firstly, a little bit about me. I am leading the Salesforce Delhi Developer Group, and I will be your host and moderator for today's session. I'm currently working as a Salesforce Einstein and CRM Analytics lead in Sienna India Private Limited. I have been a part of the inaugural Einstein AI Champion, and I've been the TDX 19, the Einstein Demo Engineer. Been an active speaker and a mentor at Journey to Salesforce. So those who are on their journey to Salesforce, please do reach out to me if you have any queries, any concerns. These are my LinkedIn and Twitter handles. Please do reach out to me if you want to connect, share, or just maybe want to say hi. Okay, introducing our new volunteers. So huge shout out to these new volunteers who will be engaged with New Delhi Salesforce Delhi Developer Group. And firstly, Himanshu Pandey, he is currently working as a Salesforce developer, and Bhorika Agarwal, she is working as a senior consultant. Himanshu Pandey, he's working as a tech lead in Accenture. Then we have Shubham Jangra. Shubham is a BTech student right now, and it's amazing to see the student community coming out. They're from their colleges, from their comfort zone, whatever they are learning, and and see what is happening in the tech world. Then we have Swati Kashyap. Is working as a Salesforce developer. Awesome, huge shout out to you guys. Thanks for joining the club. And okay, today's agenda. So we have firstly the introduction to Spring. Then we have the Spring 24 features of of flows and lightning pages. Following we'll have Q&A, and then we'll have Qs, the quiz, and then guys, we have a surprise for you. Just like all our other sessions, we have a surprise lined up for you. Okay, so today's speaker. So guys, Alok Kumar, he is certified for system application architect. He has 21 certification. He's an active community speaker, and he shares, um, you know, his learnings through the Techno Geek SFDC channel, and it's on YouTube as well as he has a blog website too. So, without any ado, let's get started to the now. Over to you, Alok. I hope you can
Yeah,
share your screen.
sure, Sagar. And first of all, thank you for this lovely introduction and seeing so many people joining, getting interested into Spring 24 releases, as well as getting to see college students as well coming into Salesforce. So it's lovely to see that the community is increasing. So thanks for the introduction, Sagar. And I'll just quickly share my screen. So let me know if you guys can see it.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, sure. So, as we all are aware, that Salesforce basically releases three times in a year. That is a spring, summer, and winter. And recently, they have released Spring 24. Okay, so what you are seeing on the screen are currently some of the timelines. So basically, Salesforce provides certain timelines where they release their features into different sandboxes. Like first in their pre-release org sandbox, and then into normal sandboxes, as well as then they release it to productions. Okay, and the release date for Spring 24 was 5th of Feb, 5th to 7th of Feb. So it is already being released into your productions. Okay, now basically Salesforce is they are very much evolving in different areas, and I would say that one of their main player, or one of the main product which they are majorly focusing on are lightning flows, because as we all know, right, they go on the low code no code concept, and they try to create the feature which are drag and drop, and that's where they have spent a lot on the lightning flows and coming out with the lightning flows features even in this release as well. And I've not collaborated everything, but whatever the top features what I was able to find out which can be useful to you in your day-to-day projects and in for your practice as well, that's where I was just collecting those features, and I hope it will be helpful to everyone. Okay, So one of the first feature which Salesforce has invested heavily, and you can say it is kind of booming feature. So as we all know that integration is major part of any of the systems, right? Whether it's a Salesforce or .NET or AWS, integration is a must. And till now we were doing integrations by using our normal Apex, HTTP callouts and all that stuff. So say I think in last release, Salesforce releases something called HTTP callout in flows. So here basically you can create or set up the integration without writing even a single line of code. Just with the drag and drop things, and you can just set up the HTTP callout elements, and then you can set up the integration. Okay. And in last release they basically rolled out so first release they rolled out the get feature where you can only use the get callouts. And I think in last release they have rolled out all others connections as well, like your post, delete, patch and other stuffs. Okay. But one of the major drawback till now was in that connection was that, let's say when you're connecting to an external system, so we were always expecting a response, or you can say JSON response, to understand or to make the flow understand that what type of response it is going to come. And it was kind of heavy dependency on the other teams as well. Till the time they will not give the response body, we were not able to set up the HTTP. But in this release, Salesforce has came up with a workaround on that, where instead of giving the sample response, you can directly connect with the system, and it can automatically pick up the schema of the system. So I'll just show you how it is going to work. Okay, let me just see. Okay, sorry, I have a lot of tabs open, so maybe you might see different stuff. Okay, so for example, let's say I was just doing some work around on the call APIs, and I was able to see this API, something called weather API. Gmail API, where basically you can validate whether this particular email is a valid one or not. Okay, now here, let's say now if I'm so till now we were giving what type of response JSON will be, and then accordingly the objects were created in the flows. But now if I just select all the credentials and everything, let me just quickly give this. I'll just keep as a get method. Okay, and this is going to be email. Yeah. Now here we are getting one more option that is called connect to schema. Okay. So what happens is, let's say if I select this option. So earlier we had only this use example response, where you can put your JSON and it will create the object. But now you once you click on connect to schema and click on next. Okay. Now I'll just give the parameters which I have provided there. Okay. And one more parameter, that is test@test.com. Okay. I'll just give you. Now, as you can see here, now I have not provided any kind of sample JSON or anything. Now, if I just quickly connect this with this external system, you can see that it has automatically provided me the schema. Okay, like what all different variables will be in the response and everything, and you can just quickly save on it and you can utilize it. So basically it is reducing the dependency on the third party system to give you a sample response, and and it's going to faster your development and the integration setups as well. Okay, so this is one of the main feature which I thought that it will be helpful to everyone where they are working on the integrations in Salesforce. Okay. Next component is it's a repeater component. Basically, it is still in beta phase, but I'm very much sure that it will going to be a GA maybe next release or next to next release. But what this component do basically? Okay, so let me just quickly show you that. So till now, whenever let's say we used to create, let's say, a form where we are giving account name, and then we are let's say we have to create 10 or 15 accounts. So every time we were giving the name, clicking on next, coming back and again giving the name, clicking on next. So kind of multiple rounds of giving the input, and it was taking a lot of time. Okay, instead of that, what Salesforce has done is they have just provided a component called repeater. Okay, so What it do is, or let's say I'll just update this same thing. Now, so repeater is basically, you can say it's a kind of envelope which can contains multiple, you can say multiple elements into it. For example, I'll just keep it as a one text here. Okay, uh, account name, and then I'll just click on done. Okay, okay. So I just added one repeater element here. Okay, now if I just try to run it, you will see the difference how the repeater is going to help you. So let it just get saved, and then okay. So as you can see that the account name I have added here, but what repeater element do is it can create multiple instance of the same same body or same envelope, you can say. Okay. So here basically, now let's say if you want to create 10, 15, 20 accounts, then you don't need to go front and back. Instead, you can just use a repeater element, keep on clicking add, and you will get the same set of field repeated. So you'll get multiple instance of the same set of fields or same set of elements, and that you can utilize. Okay, now let's say if I have to utilize it, then what I can do, maybe I can just create a loop, and you can see that in the loop, like whatever the flow loop we see here, we will be getting an option for regarding the repeater. Okay, and you'll get all the items. So basically, how many repeater elements you're creating, let's say 10, 15, 20, you can just loop over it, and then you can do your further business processing. Okay, so this is one of the I would say major you can say major release from the salesforce side, and it's going to be very interesting because this was kind of limitation from a long time. Okay, and now on a single screen, so basically salesforce is kind of focusing on a single screen applications as well, where on a single screen you can do multiple things, and repeater is going to be one of the main focus from their side as well. So expecting that it will be coming in next release or somewhere around that. Okay, now third is our collections, basically transform element. So it is related to transform element. So what, so as you know that transform element has been introduced in last release. Okay, we have seen about that, and what it basically do is let it takes one collection or one object, and then on the fly it can transform the values of that particular object, and then it can store it in some other. So for example, let's say if I have to create some account, okay, or let's say if I have to create one account, and the data regarding the account I am storing in some custom object. So basically what you can do is you can take up the data from custom object, transform it, and then you can create an account element. It is a new element altogether which they have introduced. So till now it was kind of one to one mapping from the transform element side, but in this release what salesforce has done is they have provided something called um, yeah, so they have provided something called count and average. Okay, so for example, let's say or I'll maybe just create and show you. So let's say if I'm selecting a transform. Okay, now base in transform element we have basically two elements. One is source and one is target. So basically source is from where you are taking the data, target is from where you are going to insert the data. So let's say I am just selecting um, account from fetch account. Okay, so I just fetched all the accounts in a get, and then I'm just using it. Okay, now in this release, okay, so one second, I'll just add here. So target, what in target you get an option whether you can use a record or you can use a apex define, basically invocable method. So I'll just select a record, and what type of record I want to create. Let's say I want to create account. Okay, now one thing here, now in this release what salesforce has introduced is you can use transform element with sum and count. So basically now let's say my scenario is that on one of the account object I need to populate the sum of all the accounts, or basically the sum, count of all the accounts in the org. Okay, so how we can do that? Simply we can just select one option here, or maybe account is not a let me just quickly see, remove this, and I'll just re-add. So come from fetch account and then record, and then again I'll just select maybe opportunity here. Okay, now let's say if I have to store the sum of, or basically count of all the accounts on an opportunity record, then in that case what I'm going to do, okay, now, so this is a new feature which they have introduced where you can now even do a collection, you can do some operation on the collection record as well. Where let's say I want to do a sum, then you can just select which field of account you want to sum together and store it on the opportunity. Like whatever the number fields are there, or the currency field that I will see here. For example, I can select annual revenue. So what it will do, it will combine the revenue from all the accounts and it will store on the opportunity. Okay, so this is related to sum. Similarly, you have an option of count where you can just count the number of records and you can store it. Now where it will be stored, that is amount field on the opportunity. Okay, so this is the aggregate feature which Salesforce has released in this Spring 24. It's still in the beta phase, but again, this one or the repeater, both are going to be a game changer for them. So definitely, maybe next release it will come up. Next release or next to next release. So we can be prepared for that, and it's going to be very helpful in all your projects. Okay, now next is screen reactivity. So as you're aware that Salesforce released something called reactivity, I think last to last release somewhere. Okay, where as you start entering the values on, you know, as you start entering the values on the screen, automatically some other field will also get populated, auto populated. So basically what it was doing is one element is basically getting reacted based on the input to the other elements. So let me just quickly show you one demo of that. Or let's debug. Okay, so now let's say this was a small you can say calculator which was just created, and then tenure I'm giving this. Now as soon as I will start updating, you can see this amount is getting updated. So this is the feature called screen reactivity. Okay, where based on input from other components, my third component or fourth component will automatically start getting populated as soon as I start changing. So it will basically capture the change in the other element. So that's where it is reactive on the screen. Now, till last releases, there were only certain elements on which this reactivity was able to be defined. But in this release, they have expanded that feature on some other elements as well, like display text component. So basically, whatever the display texts are there, you can use the reactivity on that as well. Along with that, whatever the text templates are there, so text templates, whenever you define in the flow, you can even use the reactivity on the text templates as well. So this is as part of what the change has come in the screen reactivity, because this feature was already there, but they have basically elaborated to the display text component as well as text components as well. So here, as you can see, it was an input text. Similarly, you can just have a display text as well, which will be getting changed based on your inputs. Okay, next, we will see validation. Okay, so basically, in Salesforce, you know that on the screen elements, when we are defining the, let's say, different amount or any kind of fields where user has to provide some input, we can also provide the validation rules. Okay, directly on the screen where you can just put the validation. For example, let's say on amount invested, I want to make a validation that the value should be more than 500, then only accepted, something like that. So that's where we were using the validate input components here. Okay, and till now it was on a very limited components, but now say in this release Salesforce has expanded it to the name, address and data table as well. Okay, so that's where again the validation component expansion is happening on the different components as well. I mean, more and more components in each release. One of the still drawback is like choice resources, you can say, where you have radio buttons or you have pick list. So on those, basically this validation user input is still not supported, and maybe it will be coming into picture somewhere later, but at this moment basically choice resources are not supporting the validation of the user input. Okay. Next is okay. So next is something like it's so trigger event triggered flow. So it is related to basically your platform event triggered flows. So till now, what used to happen is that whenever we used to run a flow, the flow used to run in the user context, whoever is running it, or basically whoever has created it. Okay, but in this release, or let me just open this. Yeah. So in this release, what Salesforce has done is they have provided another option where, let's say, if you want to run that particular flow, platform event triggered flow in context of some user. So usually what happens in our projects are that we basically create an integration user, and all integration related processes happens via that particular user, but it was still lacking in the Salesforce platform event triggered flows. And this feature has been now provided by Salesforce, that now you can either default the workflow user, basically you can just select any user. Okay, and then the flow will always run in context of that particular user. Okay, otherwise you can just keep the normal option, the regular option, where user will be the event will be run based on the user context who is triggering the event. Okay, so here you get this option, that is default workflow user, and then you can select whichever user you want to use here, let's say any system admin or any integration user admin. So you can use that particular user, and then going forward, whenever this event will run, it will catch up that particular user context, and all the FLS and all the security will be considered for that particular user whom we are selecting as a default workflow user, if we are going ahead with the second option. Okay, so this is one of the feature as part of event triggered flows, that is platform event triggered flows. Next is so next is related to data table. As we all have seen that there is a data table which has been provided by Salesforce. Okay, that is out of the box data table it is. And let's say I'll just, if you guys have not seen it earlier, I'll just quickly try to show you how it looks like. I'll just get all the account. I'll just try to get all the accounts here. All records, and then I'll just come here. Now here you will be having data table. Okay, I can just drag and drop this, and then what will be my sorry, this one. Yeah, so I can just select a source and account from fetch account, demo table. Okay, and then you get basically option to configure your columns and other stuffs as well. Okay, now till now what used to happen is that whenever let's say I'm showing the list of accounts in a particular data table of the flow. Okay, and now if I do a search, or basically let's say if I try to filter down the data table, then whatever selection I have made in first, okay, that is let's say if I selected 10 users, and I have basically then do a search again. So what it used to do is it used to clean out whatever the selection you have done in the past, and that was basically a kind of pain point, that every time if you are searching and then it is wiping out, then you have to research reselect it. Okay, and for overcome that particular, Salesforce has released in this particular release where it will going forward now maintain your previous selections in the data table. So Let me just see if I can. I have multiple row selection. Okay. Maybe I'm just seeing some error here. Please, please see if I have any flow of for data table. Should be having. Okay, I might not be having at this moment here any table for the flow, but okay, let me just see. Sorry, I might not be having the flow at this moment, but I might have uploaded in my channel. If you want, you can just have a look there. I'll give the link in the description later on. So as part of this release, like it the only change they have made in the data table is basically they are maintaining the state of the data table. That's where it is not unselecting the previous selections whenever you are searching as you are doing any kind of search in the data table. Okay, now next is okay, so these were till now we were looking into our lightning flows and whatever changes has came to lightning flows. Now as you all are aware that we have something called dynamic forms or lightning record pages. Okay, I think, I mean, not many of you will be using at this moment in your org, but going forward it is going to be one of the game changer for everyone. Okay, and I'll just tell you how, because it has released dynamic forms where you can just create multiple visibilities, and you can just create the page layouts as per your need directly from the lightning, and without even using the page layouts and other stuffs. You can directly do it from the lightning, and it is providing a lot of other features as well. So for example, one of the feature which we are going to talk about here, which has come in the Salesforce release as well, that is now you can basically show the related object fields as well. So for example, when we have to show, let's say we have a contact page. Okay, and contact is associated to an account. Now if I have to show the revenue of account on the contact page, then what we used to do, we used to create a formula field and then put it on the page layout and then use it, right? But now with this release, you don't have to go through all those things anymore. Okay, instead what you can, I'll just let me quickly go to contact, it will be helpful. Instead, you can directly drill down to one level up or two level up, and then you can basically get the field on the layout without even writing any kind of formula field. So I'll just show you this. So as I have already enabled the dynamic forms here, if dynamic forms are not enabled, you will see an option to enable here, somewhere here. But since it is already enabled, you can see it. Okay, now in the fields, now as I was giving you a scenario, let's say on this account I want to on this contact page, if I want to show account revenue, then how to do it? So instead of creating any formula field or something, now going forward, whenever you will come to page builder, on every lookups you will see something like this arrow icon. Okay, so you have one is this, select an insertion point. Okay, yeah, now here again, so I have just selected the account. Now I have moved one level up on the account. So you can see here now all account related fields. Okay, so let's say if I want to use this annual revenue, I'll see the annual revenue here. Okay, and then I can directly save it and I can use it on my UI. So now what we have done here is we have not created any kind of formula field or any kind of backend logic to store this on contact, and we are just directly displaying on the UI. So this is basically reducing your object field loads as well, and you can directly utilize the connection to show the data from parent object or parent records basically. Okay. Currently it can go up to two levels, so that is one of the you can say not limitation, but that's what as part of feature they have released. So you can go up to two levels to get the details and show it on the UI. Okay. Next, okay, so this we just discussed. Okay, I'll just go next. Yeah, so next one of the feature which they have provided is that till now, let's say we have a set of fields, or let's say we have a section. Okay, then we were used to add, we were getting a feature to add a visibility to this particular section based on devices. Okay, that is called form factor. So let's say some section you want to show only on the desktop, or some section you want to show only on the phone, then that feature was there till now. But now what Salesforce has done is they have expanded this feature even on the field level as well. Okay, so now let's say you have this field, okay, active field. So let's say you have one field or two fields, and now if you want those fields only to be visible on the phones, mobile phones, you don't want to see them on the desktop, then you can just set a visibility here under the device. You can select the value as phone, okay, desktop or phone, wherever you want to show it. So this feature was not there till now on the field level, but now from this release, Salesforce has introduced even on the field levels as well. Okay, and so now the field visibilities you can control. You can have more controls on the field visibility directly from your page builder in terms of where you want to show those fields and where you want to hide those fields. Okay, now next is okay, so next is also one of the interesting feature where we when we are, so as you are aware that we have something called single related list. Okay, so what single related list basically do is, let's say you already have a list of we already have a related list where we see all the related objects. But let's say instead of this I want to only show related opportunities or related cases. Okay, so that's where we use dynamic related list single. Okay, where you can basically configure which particular you can say related list I want to show. Okay, so you will automatically get options. Let's say if I select here. Okay, now one of the pain points till now was that, let's say you are working on a multi-language org. Okay, or you, or let's say you have clients from Italy, and you have clients from US, or you have clients from Germany. So in that cases, how to manage the labels, because English is not comfortable for everyone, right? So in that was one of the major drawback till now. But in this release, what Salesforce has introduced is, instead of creating multiple single related list and doing a show hide based on the locale, what you can do is you can just use a custom label. Okay, and then this is one of the format of the custom label to use it in the related list label. So what it will do, let's say if I'm using something like label dot custom label name. Okay, it's a dollar label it is. Okay, let's say if I'm using something like this, uh I don't have this custom label here. Let me see if any is there. Custom labels, let's say this test label. Okay, so now I can use now custom labels as well as part of related list label. Okay, and then what we can do is we can basically, as you all know, that we can enable translation workbench on our custom labels. Okay, so as we enable translation workbench on our custom label and use that particular custom label in this related list label, so you can now show you can use the same component, one component, and display the labels in different languages based on whatever the locale is. Okay, so this will basically avoid creating multiple components and doing the show hide again. And you can just so it is going to basically give a better maintenance of the whole page, and with a single component. Okay, so this is also one of the feature which they have released, where you can directly use the custom label and then you can set the languages. So this will be helpful in those applications which are basically used across all over the globe at different countries, where language is kind of a barrier initially. So that's where you can use this feature. Okay, now last but one of the major, I would say it's an important feature, because as part of not a development but as part of debugging, it is always a kind of pain point for everyone, that we see some fields on the UI, but it is difficult to find out whether from where this field is coming in, what is the object from where this field has come in. Okay, so now with this release, what Salesforce is doing this as part of, again, dynamic forms, Salesforce is giving an option where whenever you select a field, you will get the object and API name of the field. Okay. So for example, let's say if I selected this, that is phone, you can see that this belongs to contact object and this is the API name. Straightforward. Okay. But now let's say if I select this active. Okay, till now, let's say if anyone sees just with a naked eye, he will think that okay, there is something called active on the contact, and he will start going and searching for active field on the contact, right? But now you can get more detail, that whenever I'm selecting this active, you can see that it belongs to object, that is contact rolling up to account. And what is the API name? So API name is this account dot active underscore underscore C. Okay, so this is one of the, you can say, feature which was still being people are waiting, so that it will be easier to debug for admins as well, that from where this particular has came in and what is the object basically with this particular field belongs to. Okay, so this is what it says, that you can see the field object relationship as well as the API name in the dynamic forms. Okay, so these were some of the features till now, what I was able to show you on the UI, or whatever I was able to bring it up based on my preview. Or there are certain features which I don't have access to, but I would like you also to know, which is going to be definitely helpful. So as we all know that data cloud is very much in discussion nowadays, and there is a hot topic, basically data cloud. And as part of this release, what Salesforce has done is they have released a direct connection with data cloud to our lightning flows. So now if you have to send any data to data cloud to do further processing, you don't even have to write a code. You can directly do it. You can directly send the data to data cloud through ingestion API without even writing a single line of code. So that is one of the bonus feature, which I'm sorry I couldn't show you on the UI, but that is something which I think you should be aware of. And then there is also something called segment triggered flow. So this basically belongs to digital engagement. So if you know about the digital engagement, it's a product provided by Salesforce, which you can utilize to send SMSs, or you can send the messages, or you can do a basically conversation with end user by using SMS or WhatsApp, or other platforms like Facebook. So you can use digital engagement product of the Salesforce for that. Okay, and in this release, what Salesforce has done is, so basically whenever you use digital engagement, you get one more flow type, that is segment triggered flows. Okay, so segment triggered flows are basically part of engagement events when you are sending a message or something. Now with this release, Salesforce provided one more feature, that you can use a wait element in the flow, where the flow will be waiting until unless based on certain actions from the end user, that is until unless user is opening the SMS or clicking on some specific link, or let's say opening an email. So let's say we get a scenario that whenever user opens any email, okay, then automatically a case has to be created in Salesforce. Okay, just a simple scenario. So that's where this digital engagement feature is going to be helpful, where you can use a segment triggered flows, and then you can use a wait element until unless user is opening the email. And as soon as user opens the email, it will automatically move forward with the other elements or other business scenarios, and it can create a case. Okay, so these two are basically kind of bonus feature, I would say, from my end, because I cannot show you, but definitely I would like you guys also to just have a look on the web, or if you guys can get a data cloud access, I would like you to just have a exploration around it, because this is going to be a very much helpful. Okay, as part of your low code no code concept, it is going to be very much helpful. So with this, I think uh, I have come to an end of my session. Whatever I wanted to show you. If anyone is having any questions, you can just ask me.
Thanks, Alok. That was an amazing session.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, if you have any questions, please do share it through the Q&A option. And please don't hesitate. You can always reach out to Alok directly and through his LinkedIn, through blogs, and through the channel he contributes in the community. So I've shared two links to you guys. One is for your feedback. Second is if you want to sign up for the random wheel. So random wheel challenge. So we basically give swags through two different ways. We have a Kahoot, and secondly we have a random wheel challenge through which we give a random user, a random participant swag to. So I'm sharing my screen, guys. Let me know if you can see it. I'm going to share the Kahoot screen, and we are going to start with Kahoot. So grab your phones and please do join the Kahoot now. Okay, there we are. Tips, guys, for the Kahoot. Firstly, don't use random names. You will be disqualified. Secondly, don't listen to the host. I'm always going to bluff, and my bluffs are not accurate. Can you guys hear the Kahoot music? Can anyone confirm that?
Yeah, we can hear it.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to give you like next 2 3 minutes. You have some time to update your name in the that. S- okay. Guys, anyone having some network issues? I'm getting messages that people are having network issues right now. I mean, so it's kind of not working for them. Can anyone confirm? Is it working fine? I see people joining, so I'm just assuming that it is working fine. It's not working fine. Horika. Oh, working fine. Perfect, perfect, guys. So what I was saying is, please do submit your name and name over the random wheel, and also give the feedback through the link that I've shared. These feedbacks helps us to make our future event more successful, a better place for you. Okay, guys. So the last minute, if anyone want to join, please do join the Kahoot. I'm going to start the game. Awesome. So I'm going to get started. So here is our first question of the day. Which feature of HTTP cutoff is released in Spring 24? I think no authorize needed, right? Just talk. Don't worry about authorization. We all will love it, right? And hate it sometime. Oh, okay. I was wrong, but people followed me. Guys, don't follow me. On this Kahoot, I bluff.
Sagar is bluffing a lot, and people are getting trapped. That
It's a quick tip, guys. Never listen to the host. Okay, Samuel on the top, followed by Vinu and Swati, Swapnil, and Shivam. So, Swati is, are you Swati Kashyap? If yes, well, you're not eligible. But if not, then you are. Okay, so this is not for volunteer, this is purely for the participants. So, you get a chance to win a swag here. Which element of flow can used to create multiple instance of set of fields? Okay, data table, right? I worked with data tables a lot, multiple instances, so it makes sense to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'm right. Again, guys, you are following me. Don't follow me. Okay, I would stop bluffing for the next two questions. Samuel, followed by Vinu, Karan, Shivam, and Rahul. Okay, awesome. How can we resume flow when a user opens an email or SMS or clicks a specific link? This is a tricky one, right? Okay, okay, okay. No worries, no worries. Let's see the leaderboard. Vinu, followed by Shilpi, Samuel, Shweta, and we have Rakesh. Perfect. Don't worry, guys. You still have a chance to get on the top. How to show related list label in user's language? Um, we can use custom label, right? I think so. Maybe if not possible. I think it is the green ones, right? We should have green ones, especially in winters. Oh, I'm right, guys. So, huh, I'm right this time. Don't listen to me, and you listen to me. Binu, followed by Shilpi, Shweta, Rahul, and then we have Samuel. Let's go to the next one. We in the lightning page builder, up to how many level you can show related lookup relation? Oh, it should be 9. The red one. Nice. Okay. So people followed me, or I followed them. Vinu, Shilpi, Shweta, Rahul, and Swapnil. Okay, let's go to the next one. Which feature has been introduced in transform element as a part of Spring 24? Multiply, average, count, advanced formula. All looks the same, right? Okay, okay. Let's go to the next question. Which component can now react to changes on screen as a part of Spring 24 release? Okay, okay, interesting, interesting. Vin followed by Shweta, Shilpi, Rahul, and Karan. Okay, let's go to the next one. And guys, this is the eighth out of the 10th question. Which component in Flow doesn't support validation error? It's a tricky one. It can be a very good interview question, guys. And I won't bluff. I know the answer of this one. Okay, okay, okay. And now to the ninth question. What happened to previous selection in data table when new search happened in flow table? Okay. Hmm. Okay. Selection will be retained. I thought it was the red one. See, but I saved you, right? Otherwise, you would have been wrong. How to hide fields on layout when seen on phone? 3, 2, 1, done. Okay, 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 guys. The red one. So I basically gave a clue, right, in the previous one. No worries. Time to see the winner. So, guys, we have winner Vinu, Shilpi, Shweta. Congratulations, kind, and congratulations to all of you who participated today. Unfortunately, we only give swag to the number one, but we give a lot of swags to our all the winners, right, in our in-person events. So we are having an in-person event on 17th of March, and we would love to have you there. Please do join us to RSVP in the upcoming event. It is going to be on 17th March. We're going to be having a lot of fun, lot of learning. You will get a chance to get a lot of swags too, and a lot of people will be there. So, okay, with that being said, I'm going to um, s- wrap the session up. We now, okay, we can now conclude. It was a good session. We learned a lot about the flow features in Spring, the new Spring release, and follow us. Do join us. We are the Salesforce Delhi Developer Group. You can reach out to us by Twitter, by Facebook, and we post our content through our website, New Delhi SFDC DUG 2. So please do reach out to us. I was your host. I'm leading the Salesforce Delhi Developer Group. You can reach out to me if you want to participate or you just want to say a hi. Okay. Thanks for being a lovely audience, guys. I too have shared the links to you over the chat. So please do give your feedbacks. Please do sign up for the random wheel challenge. And thank you, Alok. You have been a great support. It was a very valuable session and great feedbacks from the team so far on the chats.
Sure. Thanks, Agar, and thanks everyone for giving me this opportunity and lovely audience to share the release features. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.